Hey everyone, welcome to another video of opening decades-old canned foods. Today, in the big can, we have low moisture raisins, 2 pounds, from 1965. Next we have Bush's Best chopped collard greens from 1968. Next we have Heinz Soup, The Simpsons from 1997. This one expired in 1999. Soup is always fun to open because it slides out in a big chunk usually. Next, we have Milk Amplifier Chocolate from the 1950s. This is definitely the oldest of the four, and we'll open it up today. First, we're going to take a look at every single one of these. This is the kind of stuff you put on ice cream. If anyone wants to read this, just pause it. And it looks like that sold for 42 cents. This is a product that would sell for a few bucks today. A lot of the ingredients from the 60s and 50s are banned these days. This is 29. Looks like it's not stamped. Usually they stamp the exact year into it. Not this time. Next, The Simpsons. Even in the 90s, the characters look a bit different. So the noodles are going to be shaped like the characters. The barcode started being used in the early 70s, but wasn't widespread until the late 80s, 90s. This can, despite a little bit of rust, is in pretty good condition. The next can, for its age, is in good condition. It has a slight bulge, but as you can see, the pressure escaped somehow. So this, I figure, has been leaking for a little bit of time. This code wouldn't be here if it was from the 50s. That started being used around 1964. This can here is from 1968, from Bush's. Next, the gigantic can, 2 pounds. I believe it's 2 pounds. The reason I say that, because sometimes moisture is able to escape, and in that case it would be less. So it tells you what to do here. You put it in boiling water, or you could just eat it right from this. They're from California. Very good graphics. Super shiny on the bottom because it was sitting on a shelf being protected. Top has a little bit of damage, but let's get down to actually opening these things up. First, I think we're going to open this one here. I'm most curious to see what this one looks like, because soup is usually the most fun. You gotta think to yourself, the people who packed these in the 50s and 60s are probably elderly or deceased by now. That is gonna be hard to open. Usually gotta pound it. Wow. I got it. Maybe on the canned food. Gotta be honest, that does not look bad. And I can already smell the amazing aroma from that. It smells really good, actually. Actually putting it right up to my nose, it still smells good, but not as good as I originally thought when I got the first whiff. I don't know. I guess chocolate does come from cocoa beans, so yeah, I guess it does have the opportunity to go rancid. Not looking too bad. Let's dump that out. Look at that. That is nice. What are those granules? I see a few granules in there, but this seems like it really held up good. That's what happens when you pack things in glass. They last so much longer than metal, because metal contaminates the food after a while. Next, we're opening up this one. This is one of the new cans. You can't open it from the bottom because of this new design. Gotta open this one up from the top. There wasn't any kind of hiss. Come on. Oh, yuck, look at that. That is nasty. Up next, we're going to open up the bushes, which I'm assuming leaked. It feels pretty nice, but you see it expanded, but the pressure's just not there anymore. It sold for 24 cents back in the 60s, and from 1968, it was made at the 200th, 98th day of the year. So let's go ahead and try this one. You heard that? We had a little bit of pressure get released. That one, like, the food looks normal, but look at that. It looks like radioactive. Look at that. The edges of that stuff. It's bright green. I can't believe it. It's bright green. We better take our little microscope sample of that stuff, that green slime, before I contaminate it by throwing it in with the rest of this. Look at that. It's bright green. Usually the juice in this isn't that bright. Right here, this gigantic container, which is even taller than the can opener. How is this gonna work? It looks like I have to hold the can opener by hand, right? To get this giant beast of a can on there. Whoa, did you hear that? So much air. Oh, that smells kind of good, actually. Like, it's been fermenting. Now I gotta figure this issue out because the can's bigger than the can opener. We're losing traction. Smells like it's been fermenting in there. Smells really good. But there could be dangerous gases. Are there gases? Guess not. At least not flammable. Raisins back then looked bigger, but actually, these are the special dry kind, I'm pretty sure. Like, they're dehydrated. Like, you'd have to add water, like the instructions say. You see, you can just shatter them and such. That's what raisins looked like in the 60s, I guess. The 60s, they did a lot of dehydrating because freeze-dried wasn't invented yet. They couldn't freeze-dry things back then. They're kind of stuck together, but they easily come apart. No need to waste all these. I'm going to save some of these. Maybe we can think of an experiment to do with these in the future. But we'll put some of them in our pile. See what happens. That I think I'll keep. I'll just put a seal around the whole thing. This is what we're about to look at. This one here is the grains, this one here is the chocolate, and this one here is the Simpsons soup. Before I actually put these on the microscope, I'm going to wipe them down with a lens cleaner to get my fingerprint and any dust off. Welcome to the world of the 1950s. Welcome to the world of the 1950s chocolate syrup. Before we zoom in, we're going to take a quick look. This is 100 times. And you see, look at all those different colored particles. There is so much stuff in the chocolate. Some of the bigger things I would assume are from the cocoa beans. When they actually made the stuff, like the skin and stuff when they crushed it up. That's what I'd assume. So let's quickly go through it. It's very consistent. Okay, now we're about to jump because I put two slides on the same, or two cover slips on the same slide so we could get more of an image here. This here is like a really thin area where there's not as much. And the terrain here is very 3D, so you can't zoom in on everything at once. That there is like a drop with a whole bunch of splatter around it. Now we're deep into the actual product again, and we're going to go up now. This is 250 times. And I think I like the other slide a lot better. One of these days I'm going to find something living in here, and that's going to make me so happy because I have never found anything living in this stuff because it's so old and it's probably so toxic. There's nothing in here for it to really live on. This is 1,000 times. There we go. And it's just pieces of chocolate. That's all we're seeing. Nothing special in this. I'm going to add a drop of oil to the lens so we can look even deeper into this. And we're not going to see anything, so we're going to go on to another. This is the juice from the collard greens. And I looked around in here myself. I didn't really see anything out of the ordinary. It's expected to see plant fibers because it is a plant. It wouldn't surprise me if I found something like a nematode curled up in here. But it would definitely be dead because it hasn't had air in a very long time. But I have found nematodes in canned food before, but they died from the cooking process. Going a little further, gets a little bit more detailed. Lots of plant fibers. This is 1,000 times. And gotta find something good to focus in on. So this is about all we're gonna see here. If I go in any further, it's just gonna pixelize. So let me put on our next slide, which is the soup. Let's move over and get into the middle of that. This is the soup. Now, soup contains lots of fat, So that's pretty much what those bubbles are. The oil is all clustering together. We got a few other things in there, like the noodles, which is a plant, so it's possible we might find stuff in there from the grain. There. This one actually I didn't review myself. I just put it in here. This is all new to me. This is all new to me. I'll have to probably look at this myself later. Chances are I'm not going to see anything else from what we're seeing now. This is 1,000 times. Yeah, it's pretty much just oils and stuff. That's why we're not going to see much. It's just oil. This thing here is definitely a big blob of oil in the middle of all the other broth. And yeah, because that soup was I just had to get up and look. It's tomato broth. Yeah, so that still contains lots of oil. See that stuff moving around there? That is what you'd call the current in the slide. Because it's liquid and it's moving around because I'm moving the slide around on the table. Hope this video was interesting. Thanks for watching. Other than being greener than normal and staining the inside of the can green, like, look at this. How does something stain a can green like that? Like, it looks like there's algae all over the inside of the thing. It's strange. Some of those noodles up here. I honestly thought the soup was going to be a lot worse. And if you've seen my other videos, every single can I've ever opened in the past has a lot of iron, a lot of lead in it, so this stuff would not be suitable for consumption. I make these videos just for the experiment. Oh.